Hi, and welcome to another episode of Nursing Your Way to Wealth, where a mental health nurse and an accountant talk about wealth creation, personal development, and financial independence in the UK to help you live the life you deserve.
Hi, and welcome back. This is episode 82 of Nursing Your Way to Wealth. Alex and I last week just had a week off. Basically, accountant Alex went to Poland to visit a friend of his for a bit in the snowy mountains. He did take his Norwegian hat, in case you're wondering. And I've spent the week actually being unemployed. I've been unemployed now for 26 days, as it's the 26th of November. I've just been working on being a good husband and a house husband, I suppose, whilst I wait for some checks to come through to start my new job. In the last week, though, Alex, you won't know this because you're away, but we had an email from a listener called Ben. So, Ben, hi, thanks very much for that. He responded as after our last episode where I said, I've got some finance books knocking around. Email us if you'd like any of them and I'll post them out. So I sent Ben back a list of the books I did have. And actually, I've given away a lot of the finance books. And what I have left are more sort of lifestyle, general thinking, not sort of philosophy, but kind of blurring those lines. He said very kindly, he didn't want any of those, but he has some finance books that perhaps he'd be willing to send me or us if we hadn't read them. And he took me a photograph of these books, and he very kindly sent me two of them. But Alex, on this photograph, in the pile of finance books, was a copy of your book, which I found very funny.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Oh, thank you, Ben, for reading it. Well, I assume he read it.
He did, but the funnier thing as well is he didn't connect the dots that you were the author of that book.
Oh, wow.
So I told him.
Oh, awesome.
Ta-da! Yeah, so that was good. I mean, obviously, Alex had a copy of your book already, so I didn't ask him for that one. But he sent me two books. One, Just Keep Buying by Nick Majuli. I've heard quite a lot of Nick's work on other podcasts, etc. And he also sent me a book by William Green called Richer, Wiser, Happier. So I've started Nick's book the other day, just sitting by my log burner. And I'm enjoying it so far. What I'll do is I'll read both of these probably over the next month or so. And then when I'm done, I'll often back out to my listeners and I'll post them again, or I can post them via your house, Alex, if you haven't read either and you want to. But yeah, what a lovely thing to happen while you're in Poland.
Yeah, that's so nice. And yeah, I mean, kudos to Ben for sharing the books as well. That's really nice. And yeah, I think I definitely heard of the first one of Just Keep Buying, but I haven't of the second one. And I'm not obviously not read either. So yeah, I wouldn't be averse to reading those. So that would be really cool.
Yeah, what I could do actually, while I read Nick Majuli's book, Just Keep Buying, I could post you William Green's book, and then when we're done, we could trade them back.
Trade, yeah, perfect.
Or you can just keep them at your house once you're done with Nick's book eventually, and then we can just post them out to listeners from there as well. But I like the idea of kind of circulating knowledge.
Definitely, that's what we're all about.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we kind of sit most Tuesdays or Wednesdays and do this. So yeah, okay, that I think will cover for a return on heartbeats. So Ben, thank you very much for that, my friend. Appreciate the books, and also now you know one of the books you've read is by the other Alex here, which is great all round. The thing, because we've both been, well, you've been busier than me, etc. The plan for this kind of episode and the title, Definitions of Being Rich, featuring Ben. We've covered the Ben part, but we will come back to Ben later because he's also gifted us a reasonable or ridiculous for this week. But the definitions on being rich, it came as part of a Reddit post I read last week. And you get opinions from people all over the world, all different kind of things. And someone just put in one of the finance things, definitions of being rich. So I've written down 7 of those. I haven't written them very well. I've scribbled these, so my handwriting here is a bit doctory, not great. So I'll attempt, Alex, to read each of these to you, and then we'll just have a quick chat, some thoughts about each of them, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Cool. So Yeah, I think it was an Ask Reddit kind of subreddit thing. I'm not sure if it's a particular finance one. There are some answers here that are not particularly money related. So, yeah, definitions of being rich. Number one, this was written by someone with a username of useless profession. No idea what they do, but they've put if salary is a significant factor for finances, then you're not rich, which to me means if you're relying on a salary to be paid every month, then you're not rich.
Yeah, I can see where they're coming from, and I think that's probably the sentiment. And I think the whole like the point of being rich then is probably yeah, your assets are the things that fund your lifestyle. So if you're reliant on a salary, then you are in some way, shape, or form dependent on somebody else.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me as if you're relying on a working salary coming in.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
um,
So I would probably agree with that.
yeah,
And I think that goes to almost it can apply to any income level. So whether you're on, um, you know, 25 grand a year or 250,000 a year or more, as if you've got a lifestyle that needs that income, then yeah, you're probably wouldn't be classed as. There was always that thing of rich versus wealthy as well. But yeah, I think that's probably
Mm.
agree with that.
yeah. And how you define rich versus wealthy for sure, because you hear some people and they earn monstrous amounts of money, but they spend exactly what they've made, or sometimes a bit more than what they've made.
Yeah.
And then you have someone who spends half what they make, um, might feel richer and less stressed, less pressure
Hmm.
than the other person who might earn twice as much. Who knows? Um, yeah, the second one I've noted down, and I read most of them on this thread, to be honest, and only wrote down a select few, 7 of them. This one is written by someone called I Kashinobi. Um, they have said slow mornings, a peaceful mind, a happy family, not having to step on anyone to succeed. And that's their definition of being rich.
Oh, that's interesting. I think the slow mornings and happy family, I think there definitely is a good definition. I've not heard of that about yeah, not having to step over anyone to get there. I think I don't know if that's a like whether you'd have to I don't think you have to do that to get rich, to be honest. Um, I was just about to say it seems very personal. I think I definitely would agree with the slow mornings and stuff, but yeah, not necessarily the last bit.
No, I mean, you hear of a lot of people who do step on other people to climb rungs of ladders and things, but I think there's only so far that will get you. Um,
I agree. Yeah, and I've worked with people who are very like they're almost so self-interested, um, and it does just show through. And I don't think it leads to a lack of respect from other people because it's quite transparent when it's like that.
hmm, it doesn't make you much of a team player, or you're not gonna bode well in like networked meetings and stuff.
No, nor does it want to work for that person either, and
True.
want to. So I think it's yeah. But I don't think that's necessarily a specific trait of having to do that to
No,
be rich. But yeah, I
no.
definitely would agree with the first part of that sentence.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've had some slow mornings this week, or 3 weeks being unemployed. I have been quite peaceful, to be honest, as well, which is lovely. So yeah.
But I'd imagine that would be very different if you didn't have any emergency buffer or investments behind you,
Oh yeah,
and you
you probably
need
wake up with worries, right?
yeah. So I think it's yeah good evidence and a good trial of to show that it does work.
Yeah, definitely. Like I haven't felt particularly stressed. If anything, I've got healthier. I've been to the gym 5 times a week instead of my usual
Oh,
like 2 or 3 times.
perfect.
Um, yeah, and I keep seeing the same personal trainers at the gym, and they're like, "Why? Why are you here all the time now?" um, yeah, which is nice. I certainly feel healthier. It's probably the lack of stress from work and doing things at my own pace, I suppose. I get to hang out
Mm.
with my dog. Yeah. Okay. The third one. a little bit shorter. Simply written by Mr. Pineapple 522. They've said just get groceries without looking at prices. Put whatever you want in your trolley or basket and not bother with how much it costs.
Okay, yeah, that I wouldn't sit for me, that wouldn't be a definition of being rich. I think that's just a sign of like financial stability where
Yeah,
you're then not paycheck to paycheck, and it means you're probably on that, a couple of rungs up the financial ladder where you've got some savings. You're kind of not a paycheck to paycheck. You don't have any debt, and therefore you feel a lot less guilty being able to buy something. But yeah, because I would classify, I'm in that situation where I don't have to look at price. It doesn't really matter what I can go to any restaurant. I know I can afford the bill. Um, but I wouldn't
yeah,
classify myself as rich. Um,
yeah. I think it depends where you come from. I mean, I'm in the same boat that I can go to the supermarket and buy pretty much whatever I want and not worry about
yeah,
whether it's on offer or not, whether it's £2 or £1 or £5, not £4. Ultimately, it's going to make a relatively small difference to the total
yeah,
amount that you spend. I think there's some freedom in that. So I see a lot of, in fact, only last week I overheard someone in the supermarket ring someone else in the middle of an aisle to say, "I need you to transfer me some money, or otherwise I'm coming home with no groceries."
yeah. That's not
And I
pleasant.
was like, "Ooh, yeah,
Mm,
that's not a nice place to be." Um, so again, like testament to the steps we talk about.
yeah,
Um, Having some extra, like not running things right to the wire.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that, and actually that the transition from being kind of having to like penny pinch and watch everything to not,
Mm-hmm.
that that difference is probably the biggest, like almost tangible difference that you're going to feel, I think. Because actually, if you have go from 100 grand in the bank to 105 grand, it doesn't make much of a difference. But if you went from 0 to 5, that that is a
Huge.
ginormous difference. So I
Yeah.
think, yeah. So I don't think that it would be my definition of rich, but I think it's like I can definitely see why that could be a tangible, palpable feeling.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, just add a little bit of science, like your stress, your cortisol level will drop, your pulse rate will drop, your blood pressure will go down, and all of those things will make you feel better in life. Certainly, if you've ever had any of those symptoms of them being elevated, when they're back in a normal zone again, you do feel a lot calmer because your body is at rest. Your kind of sympathetic nervous system is regulating itself properly and not having to fight all the time. So yeah. Um, the fourth one I've got here is very much shorter actually than the other one. It's written by Jedi Bry or Jedi Bin. My handwriting's not good here. Apologies. But I'm going to go with Jedi Bry 81. They've simply written having two TVs
uh,
is their definition of rich. Maybe one upstairs,
yeah,
one downstairs. Who knows?
yeah. Wow. Okay.
I mean, I've only got one TV in my house. Thinking about it.
Yeah. Well, we've got two, but one's in the lodger room, so we only use one.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. You can't go in there and be like, turn it on or off, right?
no, I don't know if that's. I think that's very much a material thing. I don't know if
Yeah.
you would. I wouldn't classify that as rich.
No, it's a very different story. Like now, TVs are super cheap, aren't they? I
Yeah,
listened to a talk by Rory Sutherland a while ago, and he says like TVs are a huge, like the difference in price between now and 20, 30 years ago is absolutely massive. So they used to be
yeah. Maybe that comment was from 1995 or something.
maybe, or someone really remembers buying like
Yeah.
£2,000 TVs back in the 90s.
Yeah, because I remember they were so
Yeah,
expensive.
humongous,
Like we've got an amazing
monstrously
TV, and
heavy.
it was yeah nowhere near what my parents would pay for one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The cost of the tech has come right down. And weirdly, both my parents were in that kind of business sphere. And my mum's business, we used to fix TVs. And I used to work there when I was 18, 19, drive the van, pick stuff up, drop stuff off, etc. One of the TVs we were due to collect, there was me and another 19-year-old chap, monstrously heavy, those humongous CRT TVs that weigh a fortune, weigh a ton. Um, and I thought to myself, this is really heavy. I'll just drive the van a bit further up this person's driveway. wasn't paying enough attention, crashed straight into their steps of their house, burst the
Oh,
tyre on our
oh
van
wow.
on the driveway. And I had to ring my mum and be like, I've made a small error here. And I need I need someone to come and rescue me. So instead of what actually happened there was we repaired the television for free, so there's no income at that point. Had to pay a builder to fix the guy. I trashed this guy's steps, like bricks were everywhere, the slabs were all over the place. And I had to change the wheel on the van on the driveway. Horrendous working day for me, that.
Oh, that'll teach you.
Yeah, absolutely. Nightmare. Absolute nightmare. My mum was furious.
Yeah, I can
Um,
imagine.
Yeah, whoops. Anyway, I don't know if this guy had two TVs or what, but we fixed his original TV and I had to lump it back into the same house as well. So, yeah, um, that's a slight tangent on point four. Um, Point five, again, is another kind of tongue in cheek one. I've done these in a funny way round. The first two are kind of money and life. The next three, including the fifth one we're about to say, are a bit more kind of tongue in cheek. And then the bottom two, I promise, are back to like usual pod stuff. So, number five, written by someone called Organized Danger, is written their definition of being rich is more cheese than is edible in a single sitting.
Nice.
What does that mean? How much cheese is that? How many, I don't know, how many grams of cheese is it? Or kilos of cheese?
He's definitely American.
Well, it could be. It's very possible, yeah.
Yeah, they have cheese on a lot of stuff, don't they?
Yeah. I don't know. It's probably a lot of cheese. And another tangent on that. I don't expect Alex to have a definition of cheese consumption, but just a tangent on it. My brother's just bought a new or rented a new house with his partner, so my wife and I send them usually, to be honest, cheese. His future wife is half French, half Danish, so cheese is a factor for her. Went to our local farm shop to buy some like locally made cheese in Kent, and behind the lady at the counter there were two humongous wheels of cheese, and they were 27 kilos each.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like massive, and it's 39.50 per kilo of cheese. And I just don't imagine. Obviously, they're going to cut it up, right? And they're going to wrap
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
put it on their cheese. But I just imagine someone coming in and saying, like, "I'll have that entire wheel of cheese, please." And I'll just put it in my basket and walk out. It's I did them. I'm not doing the maths now, but 39.50 per kilo at 27 kilos, it's over £1,000 on a wheel of cheese. It's like £1,066,
It is, yeah.
and I can't imagine eating that much cheese or how you'd justify or get it home in one piece.
Yeah,
Um,
big fan maybe.
The only reason, not my mum's van, right? That I used to drive, not that one. But the only reason I can think of why you'd order so much cheese is you're having some kind of party and there are loads of people going.
Or you might be a restaurant or something.
Yeah, could be. I hadn't thought of that. I just thought of bringing it home to my own house and having to justify to my wife his 27 kilos of
Spent £1,000 on
cheese.
cheddar.
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Um,
But at least you might be classified as rich if that was the
or
case.
maybe,
Because you could
according to Organised Danger, that would make me rich.
organize danger would, yeah, you would meet his definition. So it's, yeah.
Yeah, of being rich, because that would be more cheese than is edible, right? Okay, back to regularity, right? Number six, written by, again, handwriting, BGOG 83, BGOG 83, who knows? The ability to consider not working full time. Isn't that just FU money?
Yeah, but I think that could be a good definition of rich for me
Mm,
because I think when you don't have to, um, it kind of like to the first point of if you need a salary, then you're not rich. I think when you don't need that, then almost you could consider yourself that because
yeah,
that's the point where I guess your assets start to earn for you and work for you rather than you having to do the work yourself. And by being in that place where you're work optional, then I think you are, yeah, I would think that would be a good definition of rich, or maybe like full, because it says you don't have to work full time.
Yeah.
Maybe that's you're on the path. Maybe you're in like that coast fi type place where you kind of have set up, but you don't need to have this ginormous like savings rate anymore. You can just fund your current lifestyle. Maybe you work part time, lower hours to then just pay for your life, knowing that in the background you've got assets churning away for you.
Yeah. And that ability, like the case viability, if you don't need to contribute anymore, you could just then work a few days a week, something, and spend all of that money.
Exactly, yeah.
You could spend it on a wheel of cheese if you wanted to.
That's it.
Who knows? Perhaps 5 and 6 are kind of linked here. But I think it's, yeah, to have the option, isn't it? The choice
Yeah.
to not work full time. So if something drastic happens with your workplace and all of a sudden, Alex, they're like to you, we need you to work out of Hong Kong for 5 years. It's non-negotiable. Here's a ticket. You'll be like, actually, no. Or if you are not in that position, you have some real decisions to make.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, yeah. I think it's choice, isn't it?
It is.
It gives you options, and that's hugely powerful. Hugely. Okay, last one. This one is written by Long Jumping Pool 5697. Um, the ability to make choices based on what's best, not what you can afford. So again, links nicely to actually number 6, the choice to do things. And I think the way I interpret that, choices based on what's best, not what you can afford. So if you're going somewhere, for example, you're going on a holiday, you're going on a trip, you're going to a restaurant or something, you can pick and do the things you actually want to do rather than being constrained by a budget.
Yeah, I think that choice, and for me, the thing which it always resonates, and I think always see rich and freedom as the same thing. And it's that point of, yeah, you can get to the point where you are free to do what you want and when you want. And I think if you want to go on holiday, yeah, you can fly first class because that's the best, or eat in the Michelin star place, stay in the five-star hotel, or you've got um, loads of cleaners and gardeners to do your stuff, and your laundry's outsourced. Like all of that stuff is you're kind of optimizing for the best. And I think that's probably, and I guess, yeah, doing that without having to worry about the financial implications is probably the ultimate. That's probably the fat fi, or yeah, you're truly wealthy.
Yeah, I think you cross a bridge at that point where you start using money to save yourself time. Like,
Yes.
unless you love gardening and like laundry or the other things you said, you can outsource that to save yourself time. So if times are that important to you, perhaps you might not have a lot left time. I don't know. Who knows? But if it's, for example, I don't know, 50, £60 a month to have your lawn mowed twice a month and you don't like doing it, you hate doing it, or I don't know, you're allergic to grass or something, you just pay that and solve the problem for you.
Yeah.
I think you see more of that in retirement of people being perhaps unable to do it. And I don't mean early retirement, I mean if someone's 80 plus, for example,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they have a laundry service or they have a garden, they physically can't do it. That might be a different story, but if you or I were to do that in our 30s, that would be I would rather pay someone to mow my grass or insert whatever task you don't want to do here. So then you can go somewhere else with your time.
Yeah. I agree. I think that's, yeah, I agree with that completely.
Yeah. Okay. So those are my 7 definitions of being rich, pulled from a Reddit thread last week while you were away. Yeah. Do you have any other thoughts on any of them, or would you like me to pitch you Ben's reasonable or ridiculous?
I think it's interesting to hear the different definitions, and obviously some are a bit tongue in cheek and quite funny. But yeah, I think that the underlying tone is being able to do what you want and when you want, without having to worry about money. And I think that can be you don't have to be a multimillionaire to be at that level. Rich can mean a lot, and I think the most important is that, like, have you got a loving family and friend network, and are you content and happy in yourself and
Mm.
healthy, and all those bits are much more important than, yeah, solely just having enough dollars in your bank account.
definitely, you're picking like peace over pressure, aren't you? You're picking your own
Yes.
well-being over stress, which I would say is a humongously good use of your money at that point. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for your thoughts.
I'm keen to hear Ben's.
Reasonable or ridiculous?
Yeah, Ben's. So when Ben posted me these books, right, he sent them in an Amazon package that was like it's got another sticky label on it for an address. So I'm assuming he's bought something, or his partner, or whatever has. He's reused the package, and in it he wrote on a post-it note. He says, "Is it frugal or cheap to reuse Amazon packaging?" Question mark. And then he drew a smiley face, and then wrote Ben. So I'm going to merge that into: is it reasonable or ridiculous to reuse packaging you get from items in the post to, well, just to reuse it, basically? Should Ben have bought a new box to send these books in? Or,
Oh, absolutely not. I think it's perfect to reuse as much as possible.
hmm,
And I do that all the time.
same.
And it's, you know, whether that's sending off um like Vinted orders or eBay orders and stuff, they're all you sold and packaged in secondhand packaging and those big kind of jiffy bag things, which are very useful.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. I mean, I think it's entirely reasonable, Ben, to send us a second-hand package. I've not thought any less of you or it because you've done that. I actually would prefer it. Like, it's better for the planet. It's better for your wallet, our wallet, my wallet, Alex, and yours. And actually, it removes barriers to it. So if you sell something, for example, like you sell a book on Vinted or something for £5 or whatever, or whatever you're going to sell. If you then have to go into a town or buy a box, but like maybe get some tape or whatever, it adds so many steps to it that makes it just not worth it. Like if I can just pull a piece of cardboard out of a cupboard or a drawer or something, shove whatever is in it, whack some tape on it, and take it to a shop, job done. Removes barriers, better for the planet, better for your wallet. Entirely reasonable for me.
Yeah, definitely. The only thing it probably wouldn't be is if you're like a business selling very like premium products and then your thing comes in a package, which is so if
True.
you buy a £500 handbag, for example, and it comes in a pre-owned Amazon box, you probably
Yeah.
wouldn't be too happy. But yeah, I think that's obviously they say it in jest, but yeah, I think it's completely reasonable to reuse it and encouraged, I would say.
Yeah, that's a much better idea. It just reminds me, you say like an overvalued item in like Royal Mail or whatever by an old box. It reminds me of the gold bar that guy has now not got because Royal Mail have lost it.
Oh
Imagine if
yeah,
that was sent in
yeah.
like a jiffy bag or something.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that I think has been episode 82. And do you want to do a quick summary or me?
Yeah, I can do a summary. Let me try and recall all the seven different definitions of
Oh, I'll
rich.
be mighty impressed if you can
But
do that.
but the yeah, so started off with Return on Heartbeat. So Ben, our lovely listener, has got in touch with Alex to share some books and took a picture of my book. So he's read my book. So thank you so much. That's really nice. And so yeah, really cool that that's happening. The main focus of the episode was a kind of a bit of a mix of different definitions of rich based off a Reddit post. So there was various different examples from having too much, having more cheese than you can eat, have in one sitting, having more than two TVs, not worrying about shopping bills, um, being able to basically that if you're living paid, if you've got a salary, then you're not rich. The not worrying about your grocery bill, which I think I just mentioned, the buying better things than buying the best that you can without worrying about money, and then having the ability to potentially not work full time. So those are some of the topics that we discussed, and I think both opined on those. And then finally, we had a reasonable or ridiculous of whether it was reasonable or ridiculous to use second-hand packaging to send a parcel in. And I think both Alex and I were vehemently for doing that, and it should be encouraged just to not just the financial impact, but the environmental impact. So I think that was it.
Yeah, exceptional, actually. Your memory is ridiculous. So I was ticking along this list of definitions of being rich as you were saying them. You got 6 out of 7 of those.
Did I? Which one did I miss?
And for not writing them down, unbelievable. So the only one you missed was slow mornings, peaceful mind, happy family, not stepping on other people.
That was it.
To get 6 out of 7 without jotting them down is crazy work. That. So that's been episode 82. Alex, thank you for your time. Welcome back to the UK and the slightly warmer weather than Poland. We'll chat in a week about next week's episode, which I think we're going to do something about the budget, right?
Yes. So the budget was announced today by the Chancellor. So I think once some of the news outlets have digested that and summarised it, we'll just give our 2 cents on that. I think there's quite a lot of change coming. But I think it's definitely helped having the budget announced. I think there's a lot of speculation over this one. Probably an unusual amount of speculation over what's going to be in, what isn't going to be in. So I think it's calmed a lot of people now, at least knowing that often is the thing that people want, and certainly financial markets like. So yes, over the next few days we'll digest that and we can have a discussion on that next week.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you for your time. We'll chat in a week, and we'll just record that in a week's time. So thank you guys for listening. If like Ben, you'd like a list of the books that I now have a list of them. If you would like, you can email us at nursingyourwaytowealth@gmail.com. Pick a book on the understanding that once you're done, you post it to someone else or give it to someone else. But Alex, thank you for your time, and we'll chat next week.
None of what we discuss on the show is to be considered financial or health advice, and we recommend you always do your own research or consult an independent financial advisor or a doctor when making your financial or health decisions.